What's going on out there, Junkies? Welcome to another great episode of Culture Junkies Live. I'm your host, Kenshiro, and absolutely today we're going to be talking about all that crazy stuff that went down at San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend. We had the Phase 4 announcements, we had the Witcher trailer, we had the Top Gun Maverick trailer, we had the announcements of, the Hickman X-Men series, we saw the Card trailer, we had a whole bunch of other really cool stuff that came out of the weekend. We're going to talk about it all of our feelings, all of our feedback, and we want to hear all your feedback as well. So we hope you get in here and invite all your friends. Let's get ready to have a really good time. Let me introduce who's going to be on the show with me today. Returning from a small hiatus, Miss Miao Yen. How are you?
Hello, all you happy people. I'm doing well, and I'm excited for today.
Awesome. Also joining the show with me today is my friend GQ with that snazzy looking Hulkbuster in the corner. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. I'm usually doing better than everyone, and I'm glad you're all here to serve me.
I don't know if that's quite what's going on, but anyway, Super Nerd Plus is in the house. What's up, man?
Heyo, what's up, everybody? What's going on?
Ready to talk San Diego Comic-Con?
Absolutely.
How much were you nerding out this weekend with all these announcements, man?
This is how much I was nerding out. So I had my tablet going, listening to what's going on, playing video games, had my phone playing another San Diego Comic-Con live thing going on, so I can multitask. It was like, oh my god.
Yeah, all the stuff that was happening. Yeah, man, it's awesome. Our top fan Tony Young is checking in. What's up? But last but not least, who's also on the show with us today is the great Dadakuji. How you doing, my friend?
I am here. I have finished my drink and I'm feeling great. Even though it feels so close to the screen, like my hair. Oh my gosh! Better than that, I'm great.
Looked like he was doing a Vogue pose or something like that, man.
I guess that is, or I was just trying to.
What was all that? Yeah, the whole Madonna Vogue pose.
Vogue.
Oh, you got bars? You got bars? Is that what we doing now?
No, I don't think that I have bars for that. No. I try my little whack raps usually, and everybody can't see me like John see me. No. I told you it was whack.
Yeah, okay. All right, bet. So, awesome. So, obviously, we're going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con, but, a couple of really cool things that I kind of wanted to talk about first. So, first of all, I want to get a quick hit on what you guys thought about the rumors out there is that J.J. Abrams, late of Star Trek, the Star Trek reboot might be helming a Superman and Green Lantern movies. What's your take? Real fast.
I am 100% okay with that. So far, I have enjoyed everything that has had J.J. Abrams' name on it. So let's do it. I need my Man of Steel 2. Still waiting.
Yes. I do. I need mine too. Would you still watch it even if there's no more Dreamboat Henry Cavill in it for you?
Yes, of course. I would be a liar if I said I wasn't going to watch it.
Oh, I'm very surprised to hear that.
Let's see who else they make as Superman. But
right.
I would be a liar to say I'm not going to watch it just because Henry isn't going to be Superman anymore.
All right, fair enough. Awesome. What's your take, GQ? What's your take on that? You're muted, my friend. You don't make these mistakes. You're muted.
I was on muted because you guys couldn't hear my initial words because it's too much for the lower class.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Anyway,
what's your take?
It wouldn't really make that big of a difference if the studio doesn't give him the creative control he needs and if they don't have an actual plan. You can have a great director and have a bunch of toys to play with, but if there's no sand in the sandbox, it don't really mean nothing. So it'd be cool. He's a great director, has good visions for various things. But if the studio isn't gonna back him and actually do something with the progress he makes, it's gonna be like, okay, Wonder Woman was good. Well, that's good. Okay, what they do after Wonder Woman? Oh yeah, Justice League. Yeah, that was pretty bad. So
Paul the Marvel's in the chat, right? He being a troll already. He said Nicolas Cage as Superman confirmed.
Yeah, it might be.
No.
I definitely watch that because I love Nicolas Cage. I don't care what all you Philistines have to say.
Kill it with fire. Just that's what I have to say. Kill it with fire. What's your take on it, Dado?
I'm always open to watching any comic book movie, regardless of who makes it. I'm gonna watch it, and then I'll tell you if it's good or not. I hate having to predict that DC movies aren't going to be good, but they've done pretty well the last few ones. I like Wonder Woman, I like Shazam, I like Aquaman. Those three, they did fairly well. So if J.J. Abrams comes out with these movies, I can only expect them to be good, mainly because he has done good for Marvel. So I think the guy knows what he's doing. He's shown that he can do something. Hopefully that the people that have some kind of power will leave him the far alone when it comes to his creative control and his direction that he needs to take. Hopefully there's no guy that still works for Warner Brothers, which I think he still does, that wants a gigantic spider in his movie. He got the spider in the last Superman movie. Go jump in a lake, bruh. We don't need that anymore. So hopefully they let him do what he got to do. And I just hope I'll be sitting here after watching them saying, you know what, DC has done it again. They finally, when I say done it again, I mean from the last 3 movies that they've done that I find was fairly good. And I'll be happy with it. Say, look, because, you know, there's an article going around there saying that DC comics are better than Marvel comics. And a lot of people would have to agree. They have better stories, better characters, blah, blah, blah. But their movies are not. And hopefully J.J. Abrams can change
whole
that.
Comics thing is a kind of a cyclical thing. They go through cycles. I'll have to admit right now, a lot of DC's books are really hitting it for me. Some of Marvel's are not, but that all could change with Hickman's X-Men, which is part of the stuff that we're going to talk about with SDCC. So let's get right to it. Let's jump in, right? Shall we? So obviously, Phase 4 is the biggest news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. We had, surprisingly, we had Phase 4 was full of mostly Disney Plus shows, but 2 or 3 movies also mixed in there, which I think, and it's only for 2 years, whereas most phases are like 3, sometimes more years. So, what was your favorite Phase 4 announcement of the movies that were announced? We had Blade, we had Thor: Love and Thunder. We had Black Widow. We had Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. We also had all the Disney Plus shows. So you're up on the screen already, Dado. So what was your favorite Phase 4 announcement that came out this week?
Well, to be honest, I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, whatever the heck that one is called, because they're saying it's supposed to be the first horror movie in the MCU, and I really would like to understand what that entails, because me being the very novice comic book reader, I've never read a horror comic book. I know there are lots out there because back before superheroes, they had different genres of comics, and horror, I believe, was one of them. But modern horror movies, to me, are laughable. I mean, literally laughable. I don't think they're funny, I don't think that they're scary at all. They just try to jump scare you. They're not even psychological. They're just, to me, they're funny. I mean, last one I went to go see in the theater, I can remember I literally laughed out loud in the theater while this stuff is going on. Like, this is freaking ridiculous. So I don't know what they're trying to do. And I'm very interested to see what they're going to do when it comes to comic books, horror, and I guess they're still considered superheroes. I want to see what they're capable of. And I just hope it's not, any of this Annabelle bull crap or friggin' any of those other jump scare it was just, I don't think it's going to be like that, but I want to see that. I think I'm most interested about that because Blade, I hear it's not even going to be till Phase 5. So even though that was freaking introduced, we're probably not going to hear much of it.
It's not a Phase 4 movie. Yes, yes, you're right. It's not a Phase 4 movie. Yayin, what is your favorite Phase 4 announcement?
So I guess my favorite is Loki is getting his own show, which I was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to get this Disney Plus thing because I definitely want to see that because I love Loki. The other thing I'm really interested about is the Shang-Chi stuff. I don't really know a lot about him or that comic book and stuff, so I'm just interested. So I was very excited to hear about that. I was excited to hear that they were going to do. I'll leave that for later. But the Doctor Strange, of course, I really enjoyed Doctor Strange's first movie, so to hear that they're having another one, I was excited for that movie as well. So yeah, those were the things that I was really, really excited about.
Okay. How about you, Super Nerd? What was your favorite Phase 4 announcement?
Of course, Blade.
No. Technically, that is not a Phase 4 announcement.
Oh, sorry, Phase 4. Sorry, I didn't hear that. Sorry, I just heard Marvel. Doctor Strange, absolutely Doctor Strange. I'm really excited about that. It's going to be horror too, so I'm really kind of excited what they're going to do with that. Of course, Hawkeye. That's my guy. Say what you want about Hawkeye. Better than Oliver Queen any day. Yeah, fight me.
Come catch these hands, friend.
Listen, we can play Slapbox all day. Just bah, 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 bah. Curious on how they're gonna portray Taskmaster in the Black Widow movie. Plus, both Black Widows supposed to be in there too, so that's gonna be kind of cool. So I wonder, are they going to lead off with how you say her name? The other Black Widow. Belova? Yeah, are they going to put her more into the forefront of the MCU since technically this is a precursor Black Widow film?
I wonder. I do wonder.
And of course, the announcement of Baron Zemo, but that was like after the fact. But Baron Zemo is going to be having his mask on. He's supposed to be in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV series. So that's going to be dope. And of course, Fantastic Four, even though it was hinted, but not really fully, what they're going to do with the next step. But I'm kind of excited what they're going to do about the FF, of course, because we had shitty ones in the past.
You know what I love? I asked this guy to give me one, and he runs down the gamut of the list.
Listen,
I said, give me one.
That's why they call it Super Nerd Plus, because I give you this plus this plus this plus.
Yeah, man, you're doing too much. Hey. Man. So out of all those, which one was your favorite? Doctor
Strange.
Doctor Strange. Okay,
yeah,
all right, Doctor Strange. Cool.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. All right, GQ, what was your favorite announcement from Phase 4?
Phase 4 in and of itself.
That's cheating. That's cheating.
No,
give me one.
Not really. I look at it.
It's cheating.
They dropped the hammer. They literally came back to San Diego after taking a year off just to drop the hammer. So I like that. That's just basically showing dominance. It's stepping on the neck of your competition and just staying there. They didn't even bother with Star Wars. They're like, we'll use D23 for Star Wars.
Right.
So again, the show of strength from Marvel on this one is my favorite part of that Phase 4. Period. Just the overall
show of strength from Marvel is my favorite Phase 4 announcement.
Because again, you had people out there like, oh, Marvel's done now that Endgame's happened.
I know, right? They sure did.
I like dude.
Everybody.
Dude, hey, there was a lot of people on the webs like, you know what? Now that Endgame's over, I don't know. I think I'm done with these movies, and then they announced Phase 4. I'm telling you, I don't know why they say these things, and then they were like, oh, Shang-Chi, oh, Multiverse of Madness with Scarlet Witch, oh, Loki, oh, Baron Zemo. Dude, people was just losing their minds with all the stuff that was announced.
Here's the thing people forgot. It's 80 years of history for a reason.
Yeah,
you have plenty of stories to make movies on. And you have the right person behind it since day one. So naysayers either don't read books, which probably some of them don't, or they don't understand the genius behind Kevin Feige. Simple as that.
It's not even just the reading books aspect of it. It's the fact that, like you said, Kevin Feige went in there with a plan. And Disney is seeing that this plan is working. I mean, come on. Within an 11-year period, they've made over $20 billion on their Marvel property stuff alone. Just in movies, not even merchandising or any of that other stuff. Just in movies, box office. This is not going to stop anytime soon. So anybody that thinks that, they're going to run out of ideas. Okay, sure. Have fun with that.
Right. I hear you. No, absolutely, I hear you. You know, a lot of people that were doubting Marvel, and honestly, I think to your point, what you said about Marvel coming in and showing strength and almost like stepping on the throat, right? A lot of people they made the assumption that Marvel wasn't going to announce a lot of stuff at Comic-Con. They thought they were going to save it for D23. So when they came out and they just went gangbusters, they announced, Natalie Portman going to be, the Jane Foster Thor. They announced Shang-Chi with the Mandarin. Shang-Chi with the Mandarin. Then they announced Baron Zemo's going to be there. And then they casually just dropped, Hawkeye's going to have a show and it's going to have Kate Bishop in it. And then they were just like, it was just like hit after hit after hit after hit. And it was like, dude, Twitter was ablaze for like 2 hours straight. It was crazy.
Again, and that's just smart brand building, smart marketing. That's all that is. Because, for example, Natalie Portman years ago said that she didn't like doing superhero stuff. She was done with it. And I even said it in the group. I'm like, Disney will back up a Brinks truck and make you change your mind. They have zero problems doing that. So, I mean, it's anything is possible. So that's all there is to it.
So my favorite Phase 4 announcement, it's tough. It's tough to pick, man. I'm not gonna lie, but mine probably is Shang-Chi. And the only reason I say that is because we've kind of seen bits of everything else. Shang-Chi is like completely brand new. First Asian led superhero movie, I guess. Technically, Marvel superhero movie or Western Asian superhero movie. You could consider like martial arts movies. Most of those could kind of be considered super heroic because of the feats they're able to pull off. But Shang-Chi with the Mandarin in it, I'm excited to see what they do with that. I'm excited to see how Marvel goes for a straight, because this is almost a new genre for them, right? You think about it, right? This is pure Asian martial arts, pure in its purest form. This isn't like over the top super heroic stuff. Like that's who Shang-Chi is. He's a martial artist. So if the martial arts choreography doesn't rival some of the best martial art movies in history, and I'm talking like The Raid or something of The Raid's level, Ong Bak or something like that, that we've seen with Tony Jaa, or even some of Jet Li's best movies. If it's not on that par, I'm gonna be severely disappointed.
Again, I think they pretty much know what they're doing with this. I think they're gonna take proper care of the character and give the fans what they want. I mean, you might have, listen, how they did with Black Panther, you got people wearing dashikis going to the theater. You might have some people coming with the Oriental garments to the theater in the next couple of years. So
Chinese dress.
Yeah, so they're gonna show out with Shang-Chi. So I ain't got nothing to worry about it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. Like I said, I look forward to learning about that character and seeing what they have.
Did you really just say Oriental garments?
He did.
Yeah, I did.
He did.
Wow, that's racist.
You probably shouldn't have said that, my friend.
Well, what's the proper way?
That's like super racist.
I think Oriental can be used when
super
it's
nerd
not,
plus super racist.
Super
racist. Like Wile E. Coyote. Super racist. Yeah, no. I'm just kidding.
What is it pronounced?
I'm just kidding, man.
I don't know. They're saying that when it's not involving people, then it's supposedly okay. But I have a friend on Facebook who is Asian, and her mom used that word, and their daughter was like, "No, you shouldn't use that word." And he's like, "What are you talking about? I'm gonna use that word. I'm Oriental or something like that." So
that's hilarious.
What's the proper analogy? I should say
Asian.
Asian.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that, but I wasn't sure if that was a right thing to say.
Even though Oriental just means East in freaking English, and Occidental means Western. So, but it's just where you don't ever go around calling people Occidentals.
I never even heard of that phrase.
Yeah, that's
All
what
right.
it be.
Moving right along. So
Yeah.
we've heard about our favorite Phase 4 announcements. So what's our favorite non-Marvel announcement that came out this in Comic-Con? So I'll go first. Like for me, the only thing I was really looking forward to was the announcement that Young Justice is getting a season 4, and I got it. So I'm good with that. You know,
Yep,
so Young
yep.
Justice season 4, Young Justice season 4, Doom Patrol season 2, because those were kind of the two shows that I thought were up in the air with the HBO Max deal and the rumors about DC Universe kind of like being in trouble. So hearing that those two will definitely continue, I'm very happy about that. What about you guys?
I like the DuckTales season 2 is coming out. That, and I know, is it Don Cheadle supposed to be in there?
Yes, we
Yeah.
talked about that a little bit earlier. There was a YouTube clip of him voicing Donald Duck.
Donald
Believe
Duck,
it or
I
not.
thought that was dope, and it's a shared universe.
Yeah.
With all the even what Tailspin characters are. And
Yes, man. Look, you know, that was the dopest thing I saw coming out was that it was an Entertainment Weekly, I think, showed a picture of what is essentially now the Disney extended universe. Every single Disney cartoon that has ever existed is connected to the DuckTales world. So we're talking Tailspin, the Rescue Rangers. We're talking Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck.
You know, everybody. The Gummy Bears were even mentioned in an episode or something like that. So we're talking everybody. I thought that was like the coolest thing.
So the title I saw, it said the new Disney Afternoon. I thought that was dope.
Oh, that's so nice. Tugging at my
That is
heartstrings.
dope.
Tugging at my
You know?
heartstrings. Yeah, Ian, what was your favorite non-Marvel announcement that came out of the Comic-Con this weekend?
It was a bunch of trailers. So I was just excited to see all the trailers that they had going on. Especially,
Well, we're going to talk about that later, but you can.
I know. So
yeah.
I'll just say the trailers because I won't mention what they are. Also, nope, that was it.
That was it.
That's all I can think of right now.
Okay. Ido, what was your favorite non-Marvel announcement that came out?
That's a very hard question for me because I was just really looking forward to seeing what Marvel was going to do, to tell you the truth. And I was a little bit surprised about seeing Picard. Very interested in who's going to be reprising. I know you saw Jerry Ryan? Is that her name? 7 and 9 is coming back. They say that Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis is supposed to be coming back. But my thing, he was talking to an admiral, and you didn't see the admiral's face, and I was like, that admiral should be Janeway for real, but doubt it. And then the whole thing, I guess Brent Spiner is going to be back. At least maybe they're CGing him or something. I don't know.
Probably, but it's probably going to be B4.
But it's B4. I said Brent Spiner. Because
no, I'm just saying, like, I know a lot of people are assuming that it's Data. No, it's more likely it's B4. So
he got data. He got some data in him.
Yeah,
he got some data in him.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. So GQ's favorite announcement he actually put in the chat, and it's this incredible looking Deja Thoris, statuette that was, or collectible that was put out there. $550 this boy is. But
so,
yeah, I know. You know, as what's your famous saying about disposable income?
it's meant to be disposed of. So
That's right. So
that's how I look at it.
Right.
So, I don't know. That's my favorite announcement. I'm considering getting that. I don't know.
I'll put it up on the image for everybody to see as soon as I can get it up there. But what was it about? What was it about this one that kind of like piqued your interest beyond the?
It looks good. It's actually something from John Carter that actually doesn't suck. I don't know. Sideshow had a really good showing this year for a lot of their stuff.
What else do they have? What else do they have besides this?
I mean, they had Marvel stuff. They had Batman stuff. They had DC stuff. I mean, they had Aliens and Predators. I mean, they had basically all their usual suspects. It's just this out of everything stood out the most because, for example, I mean, I've got Infinity War Thanos on the way. I've got the the Nano Gauntlet from the movie on the way, the life size of that, and then I also for sometime next year have Laura from Street Fighter coming. But when it comes to what they showed at Comic-Con, there's not a ton of new stuff, but like I said, this is one of the newest things that they had there that was available. Because again, on their website, they have prototypes usually a year out for most of their stuff, and you'll get to kind of see what it's supposed to look like well in advance. This was something that they had put up just at the same time as the show. So I was like, okay, that looks good. That looks like something that I'd be somewhat interested in. But all the other usual stuff is this premium format Batman and Batgirl and Supergirl and all the usual stuff that they normally have. So that didn't really pique my interest.
All right, so I'm going to show everybody what the full screen of Deja Thoris, what it looks like. So here it is right here. This is the Sideshow Collectibles figure that GQ is going to be adding to his collection. Now, what do you guys think about this figure and why GQ probably want to get his hands on it?
I don't think it's big enough. They needed to make it life size and move a real doll.
A blow-up doll? Is that what you're saying? What?
Real doll. Might as well they should have just did that shit. Holy crap!
It's an enhanced Princess Leia slave outfit.
Man, nah, man. No, Deja Thoris goes so far beyond the Princess Leia slave outfit. It ain't even funny. No, for real. But the John Carter comic books are actually really good. I've always liked them. Beyond Deja Thoris, she wasn't the total reason why. It was just a really good story. But yeah, it's not bad. What other, put if you want to put some other collectibles that kind of stood out to you in the chat, throw them up and I'll add them to the stream so people can see them. So remember, Deja Thoris is $550. Limited edition. I don't think they're gonna do more than a limited run. And it's supposed to come out April 2020, between April 2020 June 2020. So that's cool. Let's see. Probably that Picard trailer was a surprise announcement. I was hoping to see that they put out a Picard trailer, and they did not disappoint. So I think that that part was really good. Tony Young is fooling in the chat. He was like, the embroidery on those pillows is immaculate. I understand, GQ. Yeah. All right. So the next topic we're going to talk about, what was the best trailer? We have plenty of them. What was the best trailer shown at Comic-Con for you? Miaoyan, I'll start with you because you mentioned a lot of trailers.
So very many of them. Oop, oop, oop. So
what was the best? What was the best to you?
The best one for me was Watchmen. Because I've been waiting for it. I've been wanting this. I've been obsessing over it because I'm so ready to see this show.
Okay.
So I would say that one is the best. Followed by Picard because I wasn't expecting that one at all. I wasn't looking for it or anything. And then an honorable mention to Van Helsing, the show, because I was like, what is this? This isn't something I'm even thinking about watching, but I might watch it now. So
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your top three. Interesting. Speaking of ones that you picked, I watched the Watchmen trailer finally today, and I have to say, if they took, I don't know, I'm still gonna watch the show, right?
I felt the same way with you, Kenshiro.
Yeah, it's just like some about the trailer didn't make me overly excited to see the show. I'm being just totally honest.
The thing that I keep hearing about people, they're just it's not like they don't like it. They're just kind of like they're not sold on it because they don't know what time frame. They don't know the time frame. And then they're just like, well, is this in the future? Is this how far in the future? Is it this? Is it that? All those kind of things. So I understand people's feeling towards it, but I have been stalking this. Like when I heard that it was coming out, I was all over it, and I've been waiting and waiting. And I haven't had an HBO show that I haven't enjoyed, like been thoroughly entertained by and become a fan of whatever the brand is and stuff like that. So HBO is doing it. I'm excited. So, and they have a lot of good actors in it too. So I was like,
no, they do. No, absolutely they do. They really do.
It can't be crap.
We're talking what? We're talking Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons, Don Johnson, Yahya Abdul Mateen II, Regina King, you know, more than just that, you know.
Motherfucking Lou Gossett.
You know, Lou Gossett Jr. Was that Lou Gossett? I thought that. Yeah, honestly, I thought that was Richard Roundtree at first.
No,
honestly.
that's Lou Gossett. Lou Gossett look dusty nowadays.
Yeah. Well, hey, man,
I recognize that bald head anywhere.
Shit, he's like what, 90 years old now, so you should look kind of dusty. Anyway,
I had a joke, but never mind.
I'm just
honorable mention to The Witcher 2. Honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Okay.
Only because
Bufang Henry Cavill's in it. He was in there shirtless too.
Let me say why I didn't. I actually haven't watched the whole trailer because every time I try to watch it, it gets cut off. So I've only seen a little bit of the trailer. So that's why it's the honorable mention.
It got cut off. So what you're saying is your connection was bad, and you're also saying you need to upgrade your cellular phone service because I ain't had them problems.
No, it's kind of difficult when you're driving across the 13 colonies, like for that to happen. You know.
Okay.
I'm kind of disappointed actually.
Kind of disappointed what?
So you got a bunch of Stephen King stuff that's been rebooted and it got movies coming out. Only thing I've been waiting for is Silver Bullet. Why have I not seen a Silver Bullet reboot or remake or whatever? Because I saw the It 2 and was the Creep Show. They got a Creep Show coming out for Shudder. It's like y'all forget the best one was Silver Bullet. Why haven't I got a Silver Bullet at Comic-Con? I'm kind of disappointed about that.
Maybe it's coming.
It's coming. I hope so. Because they did Pet Sematary, which was trash. But the It is listen. The original one's trash to me. I'm sorry. Because I remember as a kid, I was scared of it, and I saw it as an adult, and it was boring in '90s and trash. Then the remake is dope. I'm really excited about the second one because they really did a good job on that.
The second one has the weirdest trailer, man.
It does. It does have a weird trailer, but
it's really well done, though.
It is. So I'm excited about that. Of course, season 4 Rick and Morty, huh? Yeah. That's all I gotta say. All I gotta say. Other than that, I wasn't.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I want to go back to something that Miao Yen said, talking about driving across the 13 colonies. What the hell are you in a covered wagon and can't get no cellular service?
Well, once you hit the South, it gets a little difficult. They have a lot of rural areas. Let's just do that.
Someone going across 13 colonies.
13 colonies. Like are we talking the 13 colonies of Cobalt? Is that what we're doing here?
You could have just said the East Coast. That's all you really had to say.
That's really all you had to say. Right.
Is it all I really had to say?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's really all you had to say.
You knew what I was talking about.
Anyway.
I thought you were talking about that game we used to play back when we was kids on the computer.
Oregon Trail! The Oregon Trail!
Hey, Mike got jokes. You said you got that jitterbug phone.
The jitterbug phone. Nice, Mike Oliver. Like it.
I'm not that old, sir.
Like, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
We got one of them phones that gives to senior citizens with them giant buttons.
Wow.
No, I have not signed up for AARP yet, so I don't have a jitterbug yet. It's coming.
Get her a walking cane. She ready for it. Anyway, GQ,
reboot Jim Carter. Reboot Jim Carter.
Nah, man, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. No, man, I'm good on that. GQ, what was your favorite trailers from Comic-Con this weekend?
I like Picard. Picard was awesome. Just the idea of it is hilarious, though, because it's like y'all got basically Star Trek retirement program in full effect right now.
The blasphemy. That's hilarious.
It's the truth. Everybody in this series is old. All of them. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, and the only way you can end the series, the only way is you got to have it lead right into that All Good Things episode when, like, he was old and in the vineyard, picking grapes and whatnot. That's the only way that this series can end. If it doesn't end that way, then this is all for naught. But my favorite thing actually wasn't even an official trailer. It was somebody had shot some hidden footage of the Avengers game, like the actual gameplay.
Hey, you know what? That counts. That counts, though. That counts.
Yeah.
To me, that counts.
That was my favorite thing. When you see that, everybody's like, "Oh, they look terrible," and yes, the models of the games look really bad. But when you got to down to the gameplay, I was like, "Yeah, okay. I'm all in. I'm ready to go."
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that one a little bit. Let's talk about that one a little bit because to me, when I was watching that gameplay, it reminded me a lot of PS4 Spider-Man. Which is a little surprising, seeing as how Insomniac didn't make it, Crystal Dynamics did. But a lot of obviously they did, because the way the characters moved and interacted with the environment, it looked like literally they were using the same fighting system that Spider-Man used, that was born from Arkham, that was originally Spider-Man 2. So a lot of that really spoke to me. Like GQ said about the obviously improved character models, which they aren't even done yet. They're going to improve them more. The costumes still look terrible, but for the most part, I thought the gameplay and everything looked fantastic. What else did you like about the trailer, GQ? That you saw in the game? What stood out to you?
I mean, it's they've already built up these characters over the past decade. And it's like their household names now. They are, basically the superheroes. They're the superheroes of our lifetime right now. And this game looks like they're finally giving you true, real control and real difference in gameplay between all of them. Because, okay, for example, we've had a Thor game, we've had an Iron Man, we've had two Iron Man games, we've had multiple Hulk games, we had a Captain America game as well. And it's like, none of them were that great. They were okay. And obviously they were, brought out to cash in on the popularity of the original Phase 1 movies. But outside of the Hulk Ultimate Destruction, none of them had you feeling like, okay, I am whichever character this is, like Spider-Man does. The Spider-Man, for PS4 is still, bar none, one of the best superhero games that's come out in the past 10 years. It's just being straight up. Yes, Arkham has always been, top notch, but the way Arkham made you feel like Batman for the first time in a video game ever, Spider-Man does the same thing on PS4. Now you've got a game with 6 heroes, possibly more, that are going to really, the nuance of, like, when I was just watching the gameplay with Thor, you felt like watching Thor was different than when you're going to control Captain America. It's different than obviously when you're going to be controlling the Hulk. It's different when you're going to be controlling Iron Man. Every single hero now truly feels like you're playing a different type of game with each character. So I think that's what's going to make this game stand out.
Are we talking multiplayer? Is it single player? What's going like?
I think it's single player, but for me, single player to me is more enjoyable. Certain aspects, because for example, once you go multiplayer, you either have to do it online because so everybody gets their own screen, or you got to shrink everything down like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Which again, Marvel Ultimate Alliance has always been fun, and X-Men Legends and all of those were always fun. But at the same time, it's like, okay, it's basically a gauntlet beat 'em up style game at that point. So the gameplay doesn't really truly matter who you're playing because the gameplay was kind of similar for each character. This time around, it feels like it's going to be each character is going to be drastically different as far as their approach of how they go through the game. Like, they didn't show anything of Black Widow that I remember, but I'm pretty sure she's going to have like stealth missions and stuff like that, Metal Gear Solid style. So I mean, there's all sorts of potential there for the different characters that are in the Avengers.
So, you think they're going to switch out characters for each mission, kind of like how they did in that Transformers game, Devastator?
The way, well, Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and answer him, GQ. And I was going to throw my 2 cents in.
Yeah, the way they showed it in this gameplay footage, the guy started off with Thor. Like, Thor was the first one on the scene, so to speak. He was battling a couple of guys with Thor. He clears out an area. Thor gets on the communicator and radios over to, I think it was Iron Man.
Iron Man.
And then now you're controlling Iron Man. It was just a progression of, the story, basically, because the scene that they were doing was that bridge invasion at the beginning of the game. The beginning of that trailer. So
right. So kind of like how the Justice League God Among Us game, where you play the story with different characters in that game.
Yeah.
It's very similar. And this was something I was actually talking with my coworker. I want to say hi to LGZ. She just popped into the show. She obviously she's munching on something, but she's still getting set up. But I'm sure she'll be ready to talk in a moment. But what I was going to say is that one of the things that my coworker and I were talking about is how they may handle this game. Like, so wouldn't it be interesting if you could literally, after the demo part, right, you could pick which character you wanted to play with, and you just progressed out the story with that character. So basically, you're all playing the same missions, but they're all from 5 different perspectives. So literally, you could through each playthrough, you could play as 5 different characters, 5 different perspectives, even though it's the same story, same maps and everything, but you're all in different areas. That could be pretty interesting. It would probably be a ton of development work, but I thought that would be pretty interesting if they did it that way. I doubt they will do it that way, though.
Open world, you think?
I'm not sure. The scale of this game might prevent them from doing it, because it's not like Spider-Man where he's isolated to one city. The Avengers are all over the world, so I don't know if they'll be able to do a whole open world type deal.
Right.
So LGZ has joined the show. I want to get her feelings about the previous 2 topics that we talked about. Even though I know she's kind of a DC fangirl at heart, I know she really geeked out about a lot of the Marvel announcements. So what was your favorite Phase 4 announcement that was announced? And Blade does not count, because that is not a Phase 4 movie. I'm talking everything that was on the board for Phase 4. What was your favorite thing that came out of that?
So yeah, the Blade announcement was my favorite thing. Let me see.
That's what I thought.
I don't really know, because when I was looking at the board, when I was seeing the pictures of the board, it looked like they were only talking about all those things, those Disney shows. The Loki, and then they had those
Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision.
Yeah.
So Doctor Strange 2, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is one movie. So Black Widow is another movie.
Forward to that.
Black Widow is another
Black
movie.
Panther, of course.
I said Black Widow. I didn't say Black Panther.
Oh, sorry, Black Widow. No, I'm not looking forward to that.
Okay, wow. So how quickly she flipped her script. And the third movie was a little movie called Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, so if it's the same guy that did Ragnarok is the same guy that's doing that new Thor movie.
Correct.
I mean, I like Ragnarok, but I don't know if I want to see another version of it. So I'm kind of skeptical on that one. But I mean, I will go see it. I will go see everything. But...
I don't begrudge you that, because honestly, as much as people really loved Ragnarok, and I thought it was okay, I thought maybe it probably pushed a little bit too far over into absurdity for me. I'm just being honest, but I still thought the movie was good. I just thought it was, for a Thor movie, it kind of was like a little, like maybe a step too far. And Taika Waititi doing Thor 4, it being, a $1 billion movie probably helped his case. But I hope they don't just regurgitate another
bring back
Thor,
the medieval
Thor
stuff.
Ragnarok. Yeah, I hope they bring some of that back, because look what for instance, right? Guardians of the Galaxy was considered a really funny movie and really great, right? The second one was pretty much more of the same, and it didn't perform as well as Guardians of the Galaxy 1 did. So maybe
whoa. So Thor, the first Thor, was the medieval shit, and then the second Thor was the medieval shit, and people were
I like the second one.
No. Don't get me. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying as much as I enjoyed Ragnarok and I thought it was a good movie, I did think it was a step too far. I'm saying we don't get, as far as like some of the absurdity, the over the top, campy joke stuff, it might have been a little bit too much. Is all I'm getting at. It might have been a little bit too much for me. I'm just hoping that, like, you know, I'm not saying that it has to be devoid of that, because I'm sure it won't be, but maybe scale it back and, you know, don't go so over the top with it. You know, you follow what I'm saying now?
Yeah, that's Marvel. So
okay, all right. That's just my take on it. Me and LGZ rarely.
The movies are campy and fun and all that kind of stuff.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
People like when they are campy and fun. The ones that are campy and fun are loved more than the other ones.
Really, Winter Soldier is like considered like one of the best Marvel MCU movies of all time. Get out of here.
But it's not though. Exactly.
And that is also
that is the most absurd thing I've heard.
That brings up my other point. That goes to like the whole realism thing. And when folks are just like, oh, you know, DC does realism too much, and and then when Marvel does it, then well, that was the best movie of all time. Come on, you can't have
what realism? What? I don't like Winter Soldier because it's realism. I like Winter Soldier because it was a fantastic movie. Are you kidding me?
It is good. I'm not saying that it's not good, but you know, you gotta. Marvel does the campy stuff. They do it well. They do it so that people like it, so it's palatable. And it's
I like Thor 2. People don't know why people didn't like Thor 2. I like Thor 2.
I like all of them, but I'm just saying, like,
I didn't like Thor 3.
From what people say, people always say that Thor 2 was trash. That is like what most people say when they talk.
That's what they say. Does that mean it's true? Maybe not. I don't think it was the greatest. I don't think it was the greatest. I like Thor 1 more than I like Thor the Dark World. I'll say that.
Just because people say it's not
true. The Dark World was awesome, though. It was that one part. It was that one part where Thor's mom was fucking up the alien. I mean, the elf. That was like the best part. Yeah, that was the best part in the whole movie.
So one part of the movie doesn't redeem an entire movie, though. Just one part.
Here's my thing on this whole Thor 3 thing, though. It's like you guys, for whatever reason, don't like Thor 3, but Thor 3 is the natural progression of his character. Because if you notice, Thor was becoming more and more human in the sense of hanging around Tony Stark, hanging around all these other different characters, and it allowed him to loosen up more than he had ever done in any of the other films that he had been in up to that point. So that was a natural progression for the Thor character. He was on an alien world, and Thor Ragnarok benefited from the fact that it was also a, you know, kind of a Planet Hulk movie at the same time. So they were killing two birds with one stone there. So Waititi getting hold of Thor 4 is going to be interesting. So, I don't even think Thor himself is going to be in that movie that much.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that, especially with the announcement of especially with the announcement of Natalie Portman coming back. A lot of people wonder if a lot of these movies, like Black Widow, and even in Thor, especially even with Hawkeye, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a lot of them have an air of almost a passing of the torch type deal, where like a lot of mantles are being passed over from one established character to another. Like, is Yelena Belova going to become the new Black Widow of the MCU? We already know that Falcon is the new Captain America of the MCU. Same deal with, Thor. The Odin son is going to pass the mantle of Thor on to Jane Foster. There's a lot of that. So, we might see that. But I want to go back to LGZ and kind of get her favorite non-Marvel announcement that came out of Comic-Con this year.
Blame.
She obviously doesn't pay attention to the details of what I said. I clearly said non-Marvel announcement.
She said after details.
Pretty much.
Well, let her just say her favorite.
Blade. I'm just happy that Mahershala okay, Ali. I will call him what I want, but yes, I'm so glad he's coming to Marvel. This is going to be awesome. I'm actually concerned.
You know what? At least you're not as bad as Tony Young. Tony Young in the comments called him Marsupial Ali. Come on, Marsupial Ali. Come on, man. Put some respect on my man's name.
I'm really excited about that. I don't know non-Marvel stuff. I don't know. You're welcome. I don't know what. I'm trying to think if I even saw anything that was non-Marvel that was up there.
See, GQ, this is how powerful the whole Marvel announcement stuff was. They just completely eclipsed everybody else even getting any kind of shine whatsoever. Like we're not even talking about the CW shows and the Kingdom Come, all the crossovers that they're talking about in there. Like, dude, Burt Ward coming back and being being an older Robin, which I have to admit it sounds cooler than it probably will end up being. Because if I have to hear Burt Ward, whip out a holy blankety blank Batman, deal or anything.
I'm gonna say something about that that's basically really the truth, and it's evil and it's mean, and I really don't care.
That's you. Go ahead on to it.
Since Adam West passed away, Burt Ward is basically meaningless. I'm just gonna be real. I'm just gonna be straight up real about it because nobody cared about Robin. Nobody really ever did care about Robin. Let's just be real. Nobody wanted to be Robin. Nobody liked Robin. None of that. Robin wasn't beating Bruce Lee, and none of that. So
hell no, that wouldn't happen.
So with Adam West not being there, Burt Ward's presence is kind of like, okay, and I know that's mean, but I honestly don't care. I mean, it's the truth. Again, that's one of those announcements that is like the Brandon Routh thing. It's like, okay, you're gonna bring Brandon Routh in to bring Superman. Brandon Routh is already Adam. So
yeah, he's gonna do both. He'll do both.
That's cheesy to me. That's the height of cheese. It's like that's like brie. That's like a big huge wheel of brie cheese right there.
Brie tastes good. Oh,
I understand that, but I'm just saying it's the height of cheese. It's just a giant, huge wheel of brie just sitting up there, just waiting.
The other rumored announcements are they're rumoring that a couple of the Titans from the Titans show might be on Crisis of Infinite Earths. The other rumor is that Linda Carter is going to be Wonder Woman in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Which honestly, I have to admit, man. Now look, all kidding aside, if they manage to pull this off, it might be a pretty cool thing, but I think the idea might fall short of the execution.
It's gonna fall short of execution.
What is this on?
This is on the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover that's going to come to all the CW shows this winter.
Oh, never mind.
It's gonna fail.
Oh, she's like, oh, no, never mind.
Yeah, it's gonna fail.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why would they even pull her in? Like
what else they got?
Like, I mean, I guess I know nostalgia is a big deal, but like, it's like sometimes you can kind of go overboard with that. What I mean?
That's so interesting. That tableware is so interesting.
It's talking too.
Yes, that tableware is so interesting.
No, you guys mentioned Brandon Routh as Superman, right?
Yes, we did. Kingdom Come Superman. Yes, we did, and that's what.
Talking about. All
right, sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's talking about as being like super cheesy. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That just sounds weird.
Is that their end game? No pun intended.
I'm with Mike Oliver, and I'm also excited about the Catch trailer. Just had to throw out there.
Hey man, look, if there's any trailer that was just absolutely, I am not. What is this nightmare that I'm clicking on? It is the Cats trailer. Like you look,
it's a horror show.
Man, come on.
There you go. Cats.
No.
That was.
I just saw something else I put in the chat. I don't know if I should be interrupting, but they're talking about in Doc Strange 2 that you're going to see White Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with that.
Yeah, it makes
Hey,
sense.
Yeah.
Can we get if we get David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff as old Nick Fury, that would be dope.
They should do it.
That would be dope.
Because I mean, he already showed up. He showed up as Peter Quill's dad, so to speak.
He did.
But but that was the actor David Hasselhoff. So if they get David Hasselhoff to come back and be the White Nick Fury, that'd be so hilarious.
You know how weird we transitioned just now? You know, we just transitioned about having Linda Carter in the DC universe to having David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury, and we got excited about that.
No, we didn't get excited.
No, we didn't.
All right, fine. All right. Who do y'all want to be? Who do y'all? Because again, Kurt Russell can't do it because he'd be perfect, but he can't do it.
I want John Hamm.
John Hamm, the guy that y'all wanted to be Batman a little while ago.
Yeah, that guy.
I mean,
that guy.
Him to be Batman.
He looks the same.
He looks the same as who?
He could play. I mean,
he can play Nick Fury. No, he can play Nick Fury.
Anyway, he would be fine in that character.
He could.
I don't know about
that.
They
should just go ahead and get Jeffrey Dean Morgan and just forget about it. The man has already been everything else. He's already been everything else. He might as well be Nick Fury.
No, Jeffrey Dean Morgan would have to shave, and I'm against that.
No, why Nick Fury can have a beard?
Yeah, he can have a beard, a grizzled beard. You can do that.
No.
That actually would be funny, especially comes in with Lucille.
Yeah.
You know who could
that would be wild.
If they're gonna go for like an older version, maybe it could be. Oh no, he was in a Marvel movie. I think Michael Douglas, was he in a Marvel movie? Yeah,
hey man, Mahershala Ali was already in a Marvel TV show. What did they care?
But it was a TV show, it wasn't a movie.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Tony Young says he wants Scott Bakula for White Nick Fury.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Fallen Marvel said Sam Neill.
Nah, I can't see that either. Nah.
I'm going to throw my hat in, and I'm going to throw my support behind, even though he was in a Marvel movie-ish. Mm-hmm. I want Sam Elliott to be Nick Fury.
Yes! I'd be all for that. Yes.
That'd be dope.
Yes, I would do it.
Can I go completely off the rails?
Go ahead. Go completely off the rails.
Tom Cruise.
No.
You crazy. You crazy. Hell no. Hey, no. Get my man that was who was the villain dude in Avatar? Who was that guy?
In Avatar?
Play Cable?
Nah, dude. He's good for that though. But he was in Untouchable. I'm sorry, he was in Tombstone actually.
Fine, Channing Tatum.
Hell no.
Nah, you really lost your mind. What is wrong with you?
Hey.
Well, it could be Andy Garcia though. I would go for Andy Garcia.
Nah, he's not white anymore now.
Andy Garcia?
Okay,
he's not white anymore. That's hilarious.
Dino said. Hey, no. Dino said Scott Adkins.
He did.
Oh God.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He said Scott Adkins. Yes, he did.
He was in Doctor Strange already.
Yes, he was.
He was
as
one
a villain.
Of the villains.
Yeah, as a villain.
He was one of the the guy that was getting beat up by the
cape. Yeah, by the cape.
They can still put him in there.
But in the hospital.
Yeah.
What's Viggo Mortensen? What's his name? Viggo.
No.
Do you see that movie called Polar?
Yeah, but no,
Scott Lang.
I can't. No, I can't.
Yeah, Scott Lang. That's the guy that was in. That's
Scott Lang.
People wanted to be Cable.
Yes,
he would have been a perfect Cable back in the day.
He'd been perfect Cable, but I think he'd be a damn good Nick Fury.
Hey, just get Josh Brolin. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Hey, we haven't seen him without makeup. So that could work.
I mean, they won't be able to use
we could get his daddy. What's his name? What's the daddy's name?
Dad is dead.
Is he?
You talking about James Brolin?
Yeah.
Yeah, James Brolin been dead.
Been dead.
Oh,
been dead.
Sure? Okay.
Wow, are we sure?
Somebody double check it. But I mean, Josh Brolin is getting up in age, and I'm pretty sure his dad was already older. Back in the day. So I mean,
James Brolin. Holy shit! James Brolin is still alive. He's 79 years old.
That ain't gonna, man. You talking about old grizzly? That's beyond.
Yes, yes, yes. No, absolutely.
Tony Young, Thanos. Josh Brolin has already been Thanos and Cable, so he can't be Nick Fury as well. That's kind of overkill.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's a little bit overkill. Hey, though, Jonathan Frakes though as Nick Fury. Jonathan Frakes with that voice.
He's out of shape. He's out of shape. I couldn't see it.
Yeah, Nick Fury has never been in shape, dude.
Yes, he has. No, dude, come on.
Yes.
What? He like 70 something. What you mean he ain't in shape? Are you serious right now?
Seth MacFarlane.
Wait, Samuel Jackson.
Are you serious? Are you serious saying Seth MacFarlane?
Every time Samuel Jackson walks as Nick Fury, like he played basketball all day. He always walk on the limp.
That's just because he's tall.
Tony Young might be onto something. Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Norris.
Next topic. This is completely dead now.
Hell no. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Anytime Chuck Norris is brought up, it's the end of a conversation.
Listen,
it's not.
Chuck
no, it's
Norris
not.
That guy.
Hey, Head of Omega's got a brilliant choice. Hugh Jackman.
Man, no. They do that. People will riot. They'll be like, dude, y'all got him in a Marvel movie, an official Marvel movie. Finally.
And he's not Wolverine?
It'd be a hell of a riot.
Wow, that'd be hilarious.
Whoever they get, though, it should be a complete and utter surprise. It should not be in the trailer. It shouldn't be on IMDb. It shouldn't be on anything. It should be you see it for the first time when you're in the theater.
Jim Carrey.
No.
Jim Carrey.
Wow. Okay, now I think we can go ahead and put this topic to bed. We can move right along.
Wait a minute.
You know,
serious roles.
See, now y'all saying some just ridiculous shit. Come on, Mark Wahlberg. Come on now.
I'm going to explain something to you real quick, and this is a story about the guy that played Al Bundy back in the day. There was a film that he was cast for, and it was supposed to be a moment, and he was supposed to come in as some like Secretary of Defense or a general or something like that. And they filmed the scene, and they did the whole thing, and then they ran it for a test audience, and people could not get around the fact that Al Bundy just walked into the room and it was supposed to be a serious moment, and then everybody bust out laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could not get around the fact that Ed O'Neill, badass MMA dude that he may be, was supposed to be this serious guy in this moment, and they recast the part because it just couldn't get past test audiences because people were cracking up. So Jim Carrey as a serious dude is not going to work, especially after this craptastic Sonic the Hedgehog he's about to be in.
Yo, man, they tried to do that. They tried to do that with Kick-Ass 2. Remember? They cast him as like some super serious / violent superhero guy in Kick-Ass 2. Didn't work.
I thought he was in the first Kick-Ass.
No, he was in the second.
No, he was the second.
He was in the second. He was in the second. It didn't work.
But he was in that movie where he was like, was that 21 when he was obsessed with that movie?
Number 23.
23. Sorry, yeah, but that was like that was okay. I would be like, if he was that kind of Jim Carrey, I would be like, okay.
Okay, but here's the thing: comedians can always play crazy.
Robin Williams did it very well.
Always, that's their go-to. If they got to go dramatic, they go crazy. They can always do it.
So now Tony Young saying, see now we're going crazy. Tony Young saying, why don't we get Tom Hanks? Hannah Omega's like Ed Harris. Hannah Omega said Mel Gibson at one point. Like
Ed Harris, I would go for.
Ed Harris is not a bad idea.
Ed Harris is not a terrible idea. You're right. But why don't we just go ahead and put Sly Stallone in there?
No, he's already been in Guardians. He's already in Guardians.
Oh, that's right. He's already been in Guardians. That's right.
I mean, if y'all want to go crazy, you may as well just get Arnold.
No.
Just get Arnold.
90s. This isn't a 90s crap movie. No.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh man, Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren will be wild. That would be wild. Dude, I was watching Showdown in Tokyo the other night. Man, good movie. All right, so we beaten this topic to death a little bit. honorable mention to Top Gun Maverick, which nobody's talking about. Pure nostalgia fest with the musical cues and everything. Seeing Tom Cruise and kind of the sad state of affairs that is Maverick Pete Mitchell. I don't know. I think I'm looking forward to the movie based on the trailer. I thought it was going to be a nightmare, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. Now, see, Mike Oliver's saying something crazy. He said Danny DeVito. Moving right along. Moving right along. All right, so the next topic. So, what did not appear at San Diego Comic-Con that you were hoping would have appeared at San Diego Comic-Con this year?
Salma Hayek streaking the crowd.
Okay.
What?
Can we keep this to being somewhat genre entertainment related? Like as far as like a property you were looking forward to see? No. An actress that was just going to be doing something completely random, streaking naked through the crowd. I'm talking about some kind of property, movie, or TV show.
Eternals.
Yes, it would have been. You're absolutely right about that. But seeing as how she was announced. I don't think she was there, but anyway.
She was there.
Was she there? Okay, I don't
remember. She was there. Her and what's the girl name? Yeah. They both were there.
Okay, so that would have been cool, but she was at Comic-Con. I'm saying what didn't come that you were hoping would have come. Yeah. What about you, Sabrina?
Not really. I mean, it wasn't nothing really I was looking forward to. Just the Marvel stuff. I mean, it wasn't nothing really fantastic that I would say, oh, you know.
So speaking of fantastic, like, weren't you disappointed that maybe they didn't announce anything about Fantastic Four or the X-Men or anything like that?
I mean, he said mutants. That's all.
Yeah, but I mean that doesn't really give us.
It doesn't give anything. He mentioned Fantastic Four as well, but you know that's going to be down the line. So I mean, there's nothing you really can say about that. I mean, like I said, I didn't really see anything worthwhile, even for minus the figure that GQ was talking about. There wasn't really any toys or figurines. I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, I was just there for the Marvel.
But I will say for him to say mutants again, because, you know, since for the longest they have been like mutants is a dirty word, we can't use that and stuff like that. So that was kind of, maybe just for me, it was low-key exciting that they said that, because it was just like, okay, we're working on something. They're not just like sitting on the property. Maybe that's just me, though.
Well, from my understanding, the whole announcement with the Eternals does mean that they're bringing the X-Men into it, and they're going to do it over time. I watched the video this morning that talked about what the Eternals actually meant, going along with the Eternals, the Watchers, and whatever, the whole thing. So, yeah, that whole thing, him saying mutants and them announcing the Eternals and that movie coming out next year, you know the mutants are coming, and they're going to do it right, because they're not just going to slap, you know, our X-Men, and then where did this come from, this universe? They're planning it out, which sounds like they're starting up again, doing some great planting some great seeds. So
all I know is I need to find the Fountain of Youth from Pirates of the Caribbean at whatever the hell that last one was called. I'm going to sacrifice some young folk if there's more life, because I need to see all of this to its full conclusion.
Yeah, and that's going to be the hard part, is like conclusion. Is it ever going to end? Hopefully the way they do it, they can keep it going on for a long time. They got tons of stories they can tell.
Oh, I know, but I want to live long enough to see the acquisition of DC, and then they actually do the amalgam crossover. I want to live long enough to see that actually happen on screen. I think that'd be hilariously awesome.
They could still do an amalgam crossover, but DC is probably heads too far up the butts even.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we need to wait till the acquisition actually happens, and then we'll get that. And then again, we're talking probably 30 years down the road.
It won't though. That acquisition probably won't happen.
Oh, really?
Money talks.
Oh, yeah, but then they'd have kind of like a monopoly on that stuff. So that's probably not going to go.
Actually, they won't, because there are still other comic book companies out there.
Not on the level of DC and Marvel.
On comic book companies, though, because Warner owns so much. If they were even to do that, it would be a monopoly and it's illegal. So it's not going to.
Yeah, so they're not going to probably do that one.
I can assassinate certain people to make this thing happen.
Anyway,
it can happen. It can happen.
I mean, they are working together. Spider-Man was filmed at a Warner Brothers studio overseas.
I know.
So
Guess what? Warner Brothers distributed Endgame in
so
Europe.
they could work together.
In Bolivia.
I don't know.
No. It's not working together. I want one to be crushed.
No.
All I really want, and again, I'm not saying they buy Warner Brothers. That'd be ridiculous. I just want them to buy DC from Warner Brothers. That's all I want.
Why do you think they would let them do that?
Because DC needs to be saved.
Again,
a lot of people things need to be saved, but that doesn't mean that their captors are going to let them. There
comes a point in when the return on investment is not high enough, and DC becomes an anchor, and then somebody will just come in with their cape on, just swoop in like a white knight, and then just pick them up out of the muck.
Set them off to the side and forget that Marvel was in this same position, basically. The same thing that you're trying to talk about. DC Marvel was in the same position, not too far long ago back. And
but doesn't it feel so good to be on top?
Yes, because what happened, we all know what happened to make Marvel what it is now. Nobody is disputing that. But what I'm saying is it's not going to happen with DC because it's just not going to happen.
How do you know?
Because even though people don't they don't feel the same zeal when they watch the DC movies, they're still making a buttload of money for Warner Brothers. So they're not going to let them go.
There's going to come a time when they don't.
Whatever. Okay.
Because let's just be real. Okay. Let's be real. If they have about 4 or 5 Green Lanterns in a row, it's done. They're going to have to sell it.
Why? That isn't
because that'll be a lot of money put out that stockholders will be looking at you like, what the hell are y'all doing? Get rid of that comic book company. It's dragging y'all down.
Or they'll come out and they'll be great.
I'm more on the side of
same thing about Wonder Woman, but look at that.
Again, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm talking about what I want. I want to drink. I want to drink the life essence and flow from some young people, so I can live long enough to see Disney acquire DC and the amalgamation movie.
This dude's talking about being a vampire now.
No, Found of Youth from Pirates of the Caribbean 5. I ain't talking about being a vampire.
There's a 5?
Okay. Four. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
But yes, there is a 5 actually.
There is a 5.
There's a 5.
There's a 4.
Yeah, 4
there was a 4.
What was the one with Penelope Cruz? I had it sitting over there. It's called
Wow.
On Stranger Tides. That's what it was called. It was called On Stranger Tides. And
it was probably trash.
No, actually, it was actually pretty cool. And then 5 was Dead Men Tell No Tales.
That was probably trash too.
And Tony Young's absolutely right. Dark Claw starring Scott Adkins.
Yes. That'll be awesome.
Yep.
All right, so
y'all just gonna push him. Y'all gonna push that man until gonna push him into a movie until y'all get y'all with every movie that come up.
How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet? He finds a way. He finds a way to get into Shang-Chi or somehow, some way.
He
probably will be in these films. He just probably won't be headlining them like you guys want to.
I don't know though. People talk about him for Kraven. That was actually not a bad. That was a kind of a halfway inspired choice. But
yeah, actually, that's not bad.
He needs to be Batman instead of Kraven though.
Yeah. That shit may have sailed though. Oh, Robert Pattinson.
Well, hold on. Again, Tanya Harding's still out there. She could be. She can kneecap him for me.
Okay. So, getting back to what didn't appear that you hoped would appear at Comic-Con next year. Now, we already talked about Warner Brother and DC's kind of sort of no-show in a way. I mean, it was very understated as far as DC goes. And outside of the DC universe, announcements and the CW shows, they kind of really didn't have any presence whatsoever. So I was hoping that, you know, maybe we might have gotten something about Wonder Woman 84 or, you know, Birds of Prey, because I mean, honestly, man, this radio silence, especially after the cacophony that was Hall H after the MCU Phase 4 announcement, they're looking really shallow right now. Like, they're all that goodwill that they built up with Aquaman and Shazam, that's like so far in the rear view mirror right now that they kind of needed something to.
What goodwill? What goodwill do you speak of?
Because, well, look, Aquaman was their first $1 billion movie, and Shazam, by most people's accounts, was a fun, good movie that wasn't, you know, mired in mediocrity and darkness and gloominess and all this other kind of stuff. So whatever.
Okay, as much as I like Shazam, as much as I like that movie,
wow.
They still copped out when they had the little cameo, and they couldn't even bother to show dude's face. They could have just got my man to, you know, come back for that one shot, and, you know, if his mustache just happened to still be there, CG'd it out again, but it would have, you know, possibly looked a little bit better. Yeah. But dude, like, again, that's, to me, that's, you've been shown how this can work, and you just won't take that extra step.
Yeah.
Because imagine going back with Incredible Hulk. If that scene at the end in the bar would have been Tony Stark would have walked up, and instead of it being Robert Downey Jr., just to see the back of his head.
Oh yeah, wouldn't have had nearly the same punch. Wouldn't have had nearly the same punch.
It's like, dude, it's like, y'all can do this. It don't take much.
Like, remember what it was like in the theater when that scene actually came on, and they were like, "It's Tony Stark." What? Remember that? People were like, all like, "Holy, what?" It's Tony Stark.
Henry Cavill, though.
Huh?
I said, was that even Henry Cavill in?
No.
That's my point. That's my point.
It wasn't him.
It's like that was a perfect opportunity to be like, hey, we get it. These guys are in the same. Because to me, the way they addressed it felt so lazy that it was like, okay, for one, y'all got Batman toys and Wonder Woman toys and all this stuff on the shelves. It's just like, okay, most people have never seen Batman, so for y'all to suddenly be making a toy out of him, that felt fake as all get out. But again, I get, you know, they're trying to, you know, have the, you know, whatever that was supposed to be, but for them to have that scene at the end, and they didn't even bother to like get the actual guy that was playing Superman at the time to be in that scene. It's like you guys don't want to take the step that necessary to say, hey, this is a connected universe. That's why this whole Fallout or whatever, and they have no plan, and they're literally basically putting out one movie a year. That's, to me, that's like, dude, y'all not trying. And that's what bothers me.
Yeah. That's kind of sad. To be perfectly honest, that's
but then you also have to think that, you know, Brightburn is also at some point going to be a part of that universe as well.
Really?
Is it?
Really?
It is.
Really?
You sure? Why are you saying is it? Because I know at the end, I know y'all saw the Aquaman plug, so it's like, it's not like,
okay, hold on.
That ain't nowhere else.
Hold on. The way they did it, they made it seem like they were evil just like he was.
That one guy, that one crazy kook guy that probably don't know shit about Aquaman, I mean, like, or what he's done. Yeah, they usually do that. That's like Joe Jonah Jameson doing the same thing to Spider-Man. So, like, that doesn't really move me. But the fact that they connected it means that in the future, sometime we will see this shit.
Maybe.
Really?
Because, again, you're giving Brightburn a lot of credit.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Because Brightburn, the only thing that could connect to, the way they're describing it and the way it's set, is a Suicide Squad thing. Because he is the quote-unquote Superman that came down and didn't share their morals and their values. That's the only thing that Brightburn could actually tie into, is a Suicide Squad thing or an evil Justice League. That's it. That movie, and again, if it was supposed to be a tie-in, why didn't you go all the way?
It's not a WB movie. It's not gonna be part of that.
I know. I'm just letting her have her fun.
We have to let Elle down kind of gently.
Just every now and again.
She's not an idiot. Like,
no, I say she was.
Nobody said she was an idiot.
I'm just letting her know that those two are not crossing over.
Right. They're not related in any real way, shape, or form, except being tangentially similar.
Okay. Remember, I said that.
I'm going to remember that, but guess what? You can also remember that I said Disney might buy DC at some point.
Yeah. We also remember what you said about, Disney, not buying Fox at one time.
Wait a minute, hold on. You better roll that back. I told you I wasn't going to happen until this year, and it didn't happen until this year.
At first you said it wasn't going to happen, period.
I got to co-sign on that one. She did say
she kind of said it wasn't going to happen, period.
She didn't say what you got. She said it wasn't going to happen. It was. You thought it was.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said it wasn't going to happen when y'all thought it was.
To happen.
Bobby, just pull up the show, kid. Pull up the show. Pull it up, son.
Oh, she wants me to go searching for receipts now. Okay.
Because they there though, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, they are there. You're right. They are there. You're right. Right. They're there. You on record as saying that you said it wouldn't happen. And we all said, yeah, it will. We did. Just saying, that's all. All right, so there was a lot of Comic-Con talk. There was a lot of stuff that we kind of really didn't get to. Was there anything that we didn't cover in the topics of the show that you guys kind of wanted to go over a little bit? Like, we didn't really talk about any of the CW shows, probably for good reason. A lot of them, for the most part, are pretty uninteresting. We also didn't really talk too much about the Witcher trailer, which honestly really impressed me when I saw it. I don't know what I was expecting when the Witcher trailer came out, but I don't know if I was expecting that. It looks like it's going to be a really high quality show. Henry Cavill looks absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I would like to rewind. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but if I was petty enough, I would. When they first showed the pictures and folks were just like, this is going to be so terrible. And then they see the trailer and they're creaming over it now.
They're creaming over it, Jesus.
They're
creaming over it. Oh my God.
There's a lot of folks. And I peeked them and I saw them. And I'm like, y'all singing a different tune now.
Hold on. Guys were creaming over a Henry Cavill appearance?
Yes.
I kinda don't think so, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of projection there.
Right. Can we? Well, never mind. I'm not even gonna go there. So another thing that even Fallen Marvel brought up was his Dark Materials. The TV show based on, is that another Netflix property? I can't remember. Or is that Amazon Prime? His Dark Materials. That's the you guys remember the movie The Golden Compass at one point in time, starring Daniel Craig and Rachel Weisz.
Not on purpose.
Yeah.
Not on purpose. Yeah. I mean, the movie looked from the trailer. The movie looked like it was going to be something impressive, and it ended up not being much of it. But the TV show, I guess, is setting out to redeem where it kind of fell short. So there's that trailer. He was bringing that up. We didn't really talk about that. There's some more trailers to talk about. So anyway, like I was saying, now let me open the floor. What else came out of Comic-Con that we didn't kind of really talk about? Super Nerd, we didn't talk about the Hickman run upcoming for the X-Men and all the books they announced with that.
That's going to be great because Jonathan Hickman is one of my favorite writers. Long-winded, but the writing is definitely great. So apparently this is supposed to cancel all the running current X-Men books, supposedly.
Yeah. Didn't it start with? Didn't it start this week with House of X?
I believe so. Yeah, the first issue came out. Yeah,
okay.
That came out. So everybody for like well, it's gonna be like maybe the whole year until next year. There's gonna be the House of X and Power X. So it'll probably be. Oh wait, then they just dropped some other stuff too. I just thought about that. They got the Marauders. They got that team. They bringing back Excalibur with a whole new team.
I'm trying to remember who was in Excalibur. Jubilee, Rogue, Gambit. What looked like shoot. But then there was also Oh man, you Nightcrawler I think might have been on that team, but you know the X-Men team is Scott, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and
Iceman,
Havoc, Vulcan, who apparently is alive again. So it's almost like the Summers Clan and Logan. That's what the book looked like. It was the Summers Clan and Logan, and man, that had to be horrible for Logan.
And I think what's her name is running the squad for Excalibur, which is Psylocke, I believe, because her brother is nowhere to be found. I'm trying to find the actual squad.
You know what was interesting too is like because you know in what was it, whatever run that was that they had before this all came up. So Psylocke and Quanon got separated, but Quanon still has Psylocke's psychic katana power.
Ability, so she's actually on the squad. She actually on the team.
Yeah, she's on the team.
I saw Apocalypse in the background.
That's who else was on That's right. That's who else was on Excalibur.
Apocalypse, really?
Yeah.
How and why?
I don't know.
That's what I want to
know. We'll have to see that. What other comic announcements came out that you kind of didn't touch on? Because you're more up onto some of the non-superhero stuff anyway.
I didn't really see much from Image. Because Image is pretty much minus the whole Walking Dead stuff, but there wasn't really much from Image. Let me have to double check real quick. Spawn 300.
I'm over the whole Spawn thing. And I know there was this announcement that Spawn the live action got pushed back yet again. Like,
I'm not surprised,
dude. Man, this movie's never gonna happen. I honestly do not think it'll ever happen.
I don't think so either. I think it's one of them things going to be dead again. It can be another 10 years before we hear anything else about it. It's going to be dead.
Because honestly, I feel like the reason why this thing will not happen is because Todd McFarlane kind of gets in his own way. Would that be an accurate description?
But you got to think about it. Todd McFarlane always been the one that has said that, if you can't get it done, do it yourself type of attitude, or you find the next person to do it. And he's always been persistent. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe things changed since he got older and he's become this guy. If you don't do it this way, we're not going to do it at all type of situation. It probably could be, but, I still think, him as being the person that's persistent, he may get something done, but it won't be right now. So...
Mm-hmm. I think what it is Spawn is his most well-known and popular creation.
Correct.
That's his baby that he does not want to see butchered again.
Right.
So I think that's why he is really, really, really protective of this one.
I mean, but doing it, and I understand that. I do. I understand that. But to do it to the point where the movie probably might not ever be realized, because how much longer do you think how much longer do you think Jamie Foxx is going to want to even wait or be attached to this to that movie?
Maybe Jamie Foxx ain't the right person to be Spawn.
Well, I said that from the jump, but that's not that's beside the point.
Again
Go ahead.
Because I look at it this way: comic properties can last for forever. I mean, come on. Superman is over 80 years old. We're still getting Superman movies. Batman, same thing. Marvel properties, we're getting, it's the hot thing right now. So it's like, it doesn't matter if Spawn doesn't get made now or even 10 years from now. Spawn is still something that can be made when the time is right. And for me, Jamie Foxx is not the best person to be Spawn. Period.
But
go right ahead.
I would say, like, do you want it to just be made, or would you rather it be made and, you know, be a flop, or would you rather it be made and be amazing? And I think that's why he won't let off on it, because he wants his thing to be made correctly, like all of us fans want. Because again, he's one of those people, he listens to fans in that way. He knows what they don't want, and he's not willing to bend to a lot of companies' will. And he doesn't have to, because Image is not owned by like Disney or DC. They're not owned by anybody like that. So they can take their stuff to anyone and say, hey, you want to green light it? No? Okay, I'll move to the next place until it eventually gets done.
And with him, he's not even bound by that. He owns Spawn.
Right, that's what I mean. Because I think all of the creative, all of the people who make comics under Image own their own thing.
That was the big draw for Image when they first started. It was like, you guys are going to create stuff that's yours, basically. And obviously he created Spawn, and then, you know, as I said, the rest is history. So I mean, I don't mind him sitting on it as long as he needs to sit on it, because he knows Spawn better than anybody else is going to know Spawn, and he's already been burned once by Hollywood. And I could completely agree, you know, that, hey, if it's not going to get done the way I think it needs to get done, then you guys aren't going to do it. So more power to him on that.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I hear all you on that. I just feel like McFarlane holding it this close to the chest, and he's on the record as saying that the reason why Spawn is being held up is because of creative differences. Obviously, it's because he's fighting for his baby. But at some point, I feel like because Spawn is almost more of a cult favorite more than an actual bankable household type property, I wonder if some of the major studios might actually even back out from trying to finance the film at all. And
Netflix still is around, but
now see, that might be something that he might need to just go ahead and do. Just take it like to Netflix instead of trying to put it out in the theaters.
It was series.
What do you guys think about that?
It was series. They should.
I mean,
New series wouldn't be that bad.
I disagree that it's like he's not a bankable. I don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean by he's not? It's not
okay. Okay, put it like this: like when Spawn first came out in the 90s, it was cool. It was hip because it was brand new. It was different, and by far it was Image's hottest property. Those days are long gone. I mean, it was long gone.
It wasn't new or hip. It was The Crow.
Huh?
It was a demonic take on The Crow. It wasn't something that was super duper new.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like, it was more mainstream and hot because Todd McFarlane was a super popular artist that had, you know, basically, you know, thumbed his nose at the establishment. You know, left and created his own thing. Like, so they were rock stars. They were a brand, you know, at Image, and you know they were the first ones to kind of take their own destiny in their hand, and a lot of people supported them for that. And it became very, very popular. But you know, as the years have gone on, the 90s is a long time in the rearview mirror. I'm not saying Spawn doesn't have necessarily a following, but
okay,
you know, I'm
gonna save you from yourself here. Blade is about to come back. That was a 90s thing. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is still going strong. That was a late 80s, early 90s thing. There are properties that can come around whenever they want and they will still be relevant. And
but you realize there's a huge difference. Realize there's a huge difference between a property that was attached, that was basically the grandfather of Marvel movies in general, being Blade, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which has been around in some way, shape, or form in media since the 90s anyway. So doesn't really do it for me as a comparison.
They made an Ant-Man movie. They made a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. There are properties that can be turned into as long as it's good. People don't care how old it is, as long as it's good.
Okay.
That's all they got to do.
I think he has something that a lot of other like. Maybe what you really mean is like mainstream, because it isn't as mainstream as a lot of other things are, and it does go into the horror category as well. So maybe that is tell me if I'm wrong, but go ahead, Marcus.
He definitely needs to go to Netflix with this, because look at Umbrella Academy. Umbrella Academy came out of nowhere and people loved it, and the book's been out for years. Yeah. So if he can, and then you got Gerard Way being on set and having his input. So I think it'll be better if he go the movie route and just go the series route, and he can have his input, because Netflix can let him.
I understand what you're saying there, but Seth MacFarlane, Jesus, I'm getting on McFarlane. So Todd McFarlane is here and Gerard Way is here. Gerard Way was crossing over. He had different obstacles and stuff like that. And so I wouldn't put them in the same category, where Todd McFarlane has more pull in the industry, and that is why he is doing what he is doing, because he's not going to let go, because he has the power to do so. If he didn't, he wouldn't be, and people wouldn't still be like interested in Spawn. Like Umbrella Academy, nobody knew about it other than the book and stuff. So it was easy for them to break into Netflix, and then it soared from there. Todd McFarlane is way past that point already. So he's not going to bow down to Hollywood in that manner. He's just not. And good for him for not doing it, I say he should get it done the way he wants it to get done, because that's what us fans are always talking about. So I'm not going to tell him as a creator that he needs to bow down and bend to their will and probably water it down. That's just
no, I'm not saying that, but like if you want some control, go another route. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, that's kind of essentially what I'm getting at, is that if he wants this much creative control and not to be bothered with, bureaucrats, trying to basically insert their own, take on what is essentially his vision, then he needs to yank it from trying to be a worldwide movie release, which I think for a lot of creators is becoming less and less important when you have streaming services like Netflix, Amazon, out there to kind of do that with. That's just my take on it.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that it's not going to happen, and I don't think personally it should, because that's when we get all the gripes that you guys are talking about with DC, when people go and do that. So.
I guess in a way I see this as an extenuating circumstance, because at least in this one, I do, because the only reason I say I do is because with Warner Brothers and DC, Warner Brothers has owned them for decades. With so with Spawn, because this is literally just Todd McFarlane's thing, and he's taking it to a studio, and he's chafing at studio interference, which rightfully so he should. Then he needs to kind of take that control back and say F you all, I'm gonna take it over to Netflix and just do my thing, because Netflix will never get in his way. They'll just say, hey, you want to make this? Here's some money, go on, do your thing, man. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe not. I
wouldn't take it to Netflix.
He wants it on the big screen. He wants it to be able to be seen all over the world in a different way. Netflix ain't all over the world.
Oh. What?
It's not everywhere in the world. Let's not sit here and act like everywhere in the world has Netflix.
I'm not saying Netflix in the sense of, because in Birdie in the chat actually is bringing up an interesting point, because he's saying, although to us Spawn is old, but a black CIA agent sent to hell to run Hell's Army is still a fresh concept and will be accepted as something new. He should do Hollywood first and then clean up on Netflix. I think in the sense of, and I'm not saying that to make it a Netflix exclusive, no, go to Netflix to get the actual film done, distributed, doesn't necessarily have to be distributed through Netflix. Like, you know, Netflix is trying to be bigger, so like let that be one of their movies that they put out in theaters, then obviously it comes to Netflix before any other, you know, releases, and then go from there. Then you could spin a series off to Netflix if you want to keep things going. There's a lot of possibilities and there's a lot of ways to get it done. I'm just saying I'm glad he's sticking to his guns on making sure the movie is done right this time. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying that too, but I'm saying also like he shouldn't bend. He just shouldn't. That's what I'm saying. He shouldn't bend, because that's when we get stuff that
I'm not saying that he should. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying that if he wants to maintain this control, you know, they don't have to, which he should, right? They don't have to get, huh?
So you are saying that. I'm saying he shouldn't have to bend.
No, I'm saying he shouldn't have to bend. Just take it somewhere else, because I don't think, if the studio isn't allowed to have their input on, you know, and essentially they're fronting their money, right? And McFarlane's saying, "Hey, I want your money, but don't you tell me how to do, you know, do my project."
It's probably something they want to change, that he's like, this will change the whole concept of what I'm trying to do.
Right.
That is probably why. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if he doesn't, that's what he doesn't want to change, like something that will change the, you know, basically do a repeat of the old Spun, which I like the old Spun. I know a lot of whatever, but he doesn't want that to be repeated. He has the power to keep fighting, so he should, because he's not fighting just for you know, for the sake of fighting. He's fighting because he knows what his fans want.
Yeah. No, yeah.
That's it.
I want a Lady Death movie now.
I just think that Netflix is a bad idea for that.
I didn't say Netflix just for the just keep it on Netflix. I'm talking about it. Netflix needs properties, and they need things that can be, you know, not so much put them on the map, because they're already on the map. But I'm saying if you let Netflix be the studio, so to speak, to get the movie done and still release it in a regular theatrical release style, that could work.
Yeah, but see, then it would be the after part, right? So if they distribute a movie and then it goes into a series, you know, I was reading about the business model that Netflix follows and why they cancel all these really good shows after 2 seasons. It was very, very interesting, and I would hate for it to go there and stall out and die, and then he has to do something like that. Would be crap.
And you know what? And honestly, I hear you on that, L, because, you know, and I would love to read that article that you was talking about, because and this was another thing I was going to bring up to you guys as an interesting plot point. Did you guys see the news about what's happened to Netflix? And everybody's alarmed about Netflix, you know, canceling all their favorite shows and all these good shows. Like even She's Gotta Have It, you know, where Spike Lee is already taking and shopping around at other places. You know, we already know about the Marvel Netflix shows. You know, but Netflix has shed $24 billion in value in just 6 days. Like, that's not a little bit of money. That's a lot of freaking money. Their shares have dropped precipitously.
But I'm saying, but then you look at something like When They See Us, that probably made double that.
Yeah.
You know, so did they really lose it? Not really. You know
I mean, they've lost their subscriber base, and that's to them, that's probably more important than anything else. Because the subscribers, you know, to them is like automatic money. And I think we anticipated them losing some subscribers, especially when the price structure for Disney Plus was announced. So, I mean, I guess maybe this was to be expected, but I don't know. I don't think they expected it to be that steep.
But wait a minute. Let's be honest. Half of the people that watch Netflix is on somebody else's account anyway.
I mean, this is true. This is very true.
I mean, like,
very, very true.
they losing money by not really policing that part of their business, and that's on them.
Right.
And like, I was thinking, like, I was having a conversation with someone, and it was like, it's certain shows that they have. It's certain shows that they have canceled, and then they're bringing other types of shows on, and maybe they don't. Maybe they're doing it to push out some people and to bring in new customers, because that's probably something back there too. if you think about it, because like you said, like they're making it up. They're making a lot of money with one show, but then they have other shows that, not saying that they're not making a lot of money with, but they can afford to lose and bring into something new.
And then let's also be honest about this stuff. So as the content on Netflix, you know, like they canceled, you know, She's Gotta Have It. They canceled the Marvel shows and all that stuff. The newer stuff that they bringing up, like, who would have thought, like, to be honest with you, I would have never watched Altered Carbon ever. But then I was like, you know, let me look at this, because something that else got canceled. I was like, oh, I wanted to see it for that. But then I watched Altered Carbon. The shit that they putting out from these, and the one thing I do like about Netflix is that they're giving people that are not Hollywood, you know, intertwined, like a platform to put out good work. Right. The only thing bad about that is that after 2 years, they cancel a lot of those programs because they feel like they're getting too big or there's too much. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but you know what? But you know what? To your point, if they have made the most of their opportunity that Netflix has given them, they'll be able to take that exposure and be able to. I was just reading GQ's comment. I'm sorry. But no, to your point, if they have taken full advantage of the opportunity that Netflix has given them, then they'll be able to take that exposure and be able to go ahead and finance other projects outside of Netflix. So I think the trade-off is just fine to me. I think the trade-off is fine. Because, I mean, like you said, it's a symbiotic relationship. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. They're giving platforms to people, and when they get too big, I mean, I think they probably should shop it to bigger things that will get them more exposure. And I'm sure that's great, but at the same time, I mean, you know, as a subscriber, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I gotta go find something else now. Damn.
Right, but then they put out like these awesome shows. And I think the only reason why Stranger Things didn't get canceled is because it is a fucking phenom.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal show. Absolutely phenomenal show.
I think that's the only reason why Stranger Things hasn't been canceled yet.
Yeah.
Sounds like a certain streaming service coming out later this year is just better and better.
Cheaper too.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Well.
Now, will you be able to have multiple people on there?
I don't care.
I don't care. I literally don't care about that.
But that is the selling point for people. That is.
I would skip that. Skip all that. Within your household, you can have on the same IP address. Then yes, you can have multiple whatever. But if they're smart, they will cut out all of that because that's just a waste of money.
Here, you can look around the house. You can look around the house and find 800 pennies somewhere. You pay for Disney Plus. You can find it somewhere. Skip a damn McDonald's McDonald's meal. There's your Disney Plus subscription.
That's not everybody's reality, but
man, come on now.
Come
on now.
I'm saying.
Not concerned about everybody's reality right now.
Exactly. If some of these dudes out here that's broke as a joke can find a way to get some of the latest Jordans, they can find a way to pay for Disney Plus every month. Saying.
I'm just saying that's
I'm serious. Yeah, I'm serious. This dude's on food stamps that will prioritize getting the latest Jordans.
What does that have to do with anything?
Absolutely nothing. That's why
No. This is what it has to do with it. This is what it has to do with it. Okay, follow my train of thought. If they're resourceful enough to find a way to get new Jordans when they are on food stamps, like barely surviving, they can find a way to pay for Disney Plus.
That's food. That's stuff like that.
Your train of thought doesn't make sense on this one.
Come on.
Excuse me? No, they're on food stamps. They're on food stamps, not worried about getting a job, but they're worried about getting the latest Jordans. They find a way. I'm just saying.
So just so you know, just so we can quell this argument, the majority of people on food stamps do not look like us. Do not look like us.
I know that. I'm not saying. And this goes for them too. They will find a way because because
they don't look like us.
No, they don't. See, here's what they're worried about. They're worried about getting them cigarette cartons.
Come on. Let's stop that real quick,
okay,
because there are people in the military who are on food stamps. Okay,
I know.
And like they have the food stamps. They might buy their Jordans because people need shoes, and that's what they might like.
It don't matter what shoes.
But come on now.
All right. Not like
don't go in the same category.
Right. See, like Mike Oliver's even saying, if you have an iPhone, you can get Disney Plus now. Come on now. Do people find a way to get stuff that they care about? That's the only point I'm making.
Well, but see, now you're assuming that they care about Disney Plus. That's the
if
problem.
They want it, they'll find a way.
It's not a necessity. Again, you're putting up necessities versus extras.
Getting a pair of Jordans is not a necessity.
It's still a pair of shoes, though.
Man, walk your ass down to Payless or Walmart or something, get a pair of $20.
What if they knock off Jordans and they look that good that they got people food out here? Because that's the thing.
Not only that, Payless doesn't exist anymore. Secondly, Payless shoes were crap. Third, these Jordans are pretty well assembled. Fourth, you might actually get a college scholarship based on the fact that you're wearing those particular shoes.
Is the Mars Blackman effect? Is it the shoes? Come on, now, really? Okay,
it's the truth. And again, you can't throw something that is an actual true necessity of life, shoes and clothing, up against basically an extra. Because not only do you have to have the Disney Plus service, you also have to have internet.
Yes.
Those
are bills. It comes like, it's not like you pay it for the whole year. It's like Disney Plus is a bill every month. Just saying.
Right. So again, like I'm saying, I am not condoning anybody giving away their whatever. But I would completely be fine with them saying your IP address is locked to your account. You cannot use your particular account on any other, you can't give it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, if you're watching it at home, you're at home. If it all of a sudden pops up across the country, then that's, no, we're locking you out.
Well, that's how my Netflix is. A lot of people don't have the Netflix like we have one screen on our Netflix. We have one screen. So if my husband is where he is right now in training and he wants to watch Netflix, but I'm already watching something, Netflix is like, hey, nah, you can't watch it. And this is why.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd be like, look, it's either the one screen, or if it's in the same household on the same IP, then yes, you can open up multiple. But as soon as you are a different IP addresses, nope, you can't be giving your account away.
Yeah, but so here it is. I just took my daughter down to Texas, and she's watching Netflix on her thing, and I watch Netflix here. I should be able to have that, be able to do that if that's what I want, since I pay for it. And it doesn't matter if it's Disney streaming or whatever. The thing I think for Netflix is that, like I said, if they don't, like for mine, I have all the phones and stuff attached, and it sends me an email sometimes when somebody goes on my account. A lot of people don't do that, and I think if Disney Plus wants to be smart, they need to do something that is a little bit tighter, so that when you sign up, you put all your devices on first, and then it tracks everything. So when people from outside places do it, they're able to shut that down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, trust me, you're dealing with the House of Mouse. They are one of the most notorious controlling companies in the world.
Yeah, they are.
So they will have all sorts of stuff in place, I'm pretty sure. And again, they're also a company that doesn't necessarily care that much either, because it's like, they're like, look, Disneyland costs this, period. End of story. Either you come and you can pay for it, or you can't. We'll find somebody that can. So I think they're going to, again, I'm not saying they're going to have that harsh of an approach for this particular service because of how inexpensive it is. But at the same time, this is still the company that charges you $150 to walk into a park.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why I've never been, as much as I've wanted to go, unfortunately.
Oh no, Star Wars, Galaxy's End is drawing me back into Disney World at some point in the future. Galaxy's Edge is that's a must go.
I'm gonna find a way to get there. I am definitely gonna find a way to get there without question. So anyway, guys, we had a fantastic time talking about San Diego Comic-Con and all the other exciting announcements that came out of San Diego Comic-Con this weekend. If we missed anything, make sure you let us know in the chats. But also make sure you come out next week to enjoy our next episode of Culture Junkies Live. Well, I don't know exactly what we'll be talking about, but we'll be sure to let you know right here on our Facebook fan page, and also on our Twitter handle, which is Culture Junkies at Culture Junkies _. I want to thank you all for joining us all tonight. For any other final comments before we get out of here? Oh, by the way, anybody in the chat can name what the music we're playing is from. You get maybe what should we give them? A cookie? If they manage to.
Hey man, all these gluten allergies out here, I ain't giving nobody no cookies either.
I hear you.
No cookies. Hey, right. One thing before we go though.
Yeah.
The old king is dead, and long live the new king of the box office forever and ever.
Hey, Avengers Endgame did it. Dethroned Avatar finally, and did it in only 2 months, whereas opposed to Avatar needed to be in the theater for like 9 months, 9 to 10 months. You know, it's crazy how long they kept that thing in there. It was out of control.
But wait, I'm mad that people still talking about they cheated by re-releasing Endgame with the extra footage. And I was like,
listen.
wait. So Avatar was in there for like a whole year, and y'all mad about a re-release that only happened like a month ago?
Not only that, let's be real. It didn't really leave a lot of theaters. Like, for example, the Imagine Novi, which is the main theater up here that a lot of us go to, they had that movie playing, and then it dropped out of theaters for 1 week. Then they announced a re-release, and then they brought it right back in and put it on their biggest screen again. Basically, so it had like a 1 week hiatus at that theater. Other theaters just had it there, period. And they just, since it's digital, they just added the little extra footage at the end. So
here they just swapped them. They didn't like one day had the old one, the next day they had the new one.
Right. So it's like realistically, even though yes, it was re-released, it was more of a marketing re-release because a lot of theaters already still had the film there. So let's just keep that part real, because Avatar was out of theaters and then came back. So come on now.
Absolutely. So anyway, guys, we had a great episode. Hope you enjoyed us. You'll join us next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, for the next episode of Culture Junkies Live, which is episode 175. We're getting close to show number 200, which we should hit before the end of the year. So for my friends GQ, LGZ, Super Nerd Plus, and the great Daidakuji, I am and Miao Yin, excuse me. I am Kishiro. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Good night, all you happy people.